Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Russell here. I am going to tell you a little bit about paraphrasing. So I'm just going to follow along on this paper. So our goal today is to paraphrase. This is putting something you heard or read into your own words. This is a lifelong skill. If you are in a meeting and you need to share with your teams later, you will need to take notes. Sometimes taking notes requires you to paraphrase what the speaker is saying. You will do this in school when the professor is speaking, for a research paper, at your job, and many other places. Synonyms for paraphrasing would be to reword it or to rephrase it. The purpose of paraphrasing is to simplify the author's idea so that you can understand the message. Now let's use this example from the Duxter's website, which is a social studies website that we use quite frequently. I'm giving credit to the source, like it was stated in the Brain Pop on paraphrasing. This is about Fort Sumter. Major Anderson, the leader of the Union forces in Charleston, moved his men from Fort Moultrie to the more fortified island Fort Sumter. However, because he was surrounded by the Confederate Army, he began to run out of food and fuel and needed supplies. The Confederation knew this, and they were hoping that Major Anderson and his soldiers would leave South Carolina without a fight. He refused to leave, however, hoping that a supply ship would get through the fort. So this is how I paraphrased it. So I put the Union decided to move to Fort Sumter, where the Union's food supply became extremely low. I didn't need to tell exactly where Fort Sumter was located because I'm trying to get the gist of the idea. So it was a lot about the supplies. It talked a lot about that. I didn't quote it word for word. This was due to the South trying to block needed supplies. I used the South in place of Confederate. The Confederate banked on this and thought Major Anderson would leave. Major Anderson did not leave despite what the South was wanting. So I again used South and Confederate interchanging. Major Anderson was from the Union, so I used his physical name to show the difference. So we're going to try that from a movie clip from Zootopia. So I'm going to turn on this clip so that we can watch it and enjoy it.
Sorry, coming through. Excuse me, pardon.
Bon voyage, crackpot!
Hey, stop right there!
Have a donut, copper!
Oh my god, did you see those leopard print jeggings?
Oh! I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Come to Papa.
So back to our paraphrasing. This is what I did for the movie. I have in this clip, the weasel tries to steal something in the bag. The rabbit tries to stop all the destruction the weasel causes. This is where he's knocking the buildings down for in the rat village or the rodent village. Then the rabbit catches and throws the weasel off the train. The weasel throws a giant donut at the rat, and the rabbit saves the girl's life. And this is where he kicks it, actually. But I said throws, and it's okay because I'm putting it in my own words. So I was able to summarize the minute video without using exact words from the rabbit, the weasel, or the girl rodent. This is paraphrasing. So remember, paraphrasing is a lifelong skill. You will be required to take notes, summarize a meeting, or ask to paraphrase the information you have heard. These three things go together. In closing, think about a time that you have already used this skill. Did you do it right? If so, that's great. If not, do you now know what you need to do? I hope so. Thanks for listening.